Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. So today we're going to be talking about nurse practitioner salary. I'm going to be sharing my salary as well that I had in my first nurse practitioner job. So first things first, never take the first offer that they give you. I learned that from Monica the NP. Monica the NP, she is the negotiating fairy godmother. No, but she's a nurse practitioner who has a course strictly about negotiating your worth as a nurse practitioner. I'll leave her information right here. So last year I took her compensation boot camp course last summer actually. Hopefully she has it again because it was very helpful. So never take the first offer they give you. There's always something that can be negotiated. Also, second thing, if you're a black woman watching this, make sure you negotiate. Historically, black women are paid the least. So black women, let's make sure we're negotiating our worth. So before we get into salary, there are other things that you should negotiate for. So first thing you should negotiate for is PTO. So with PTO, I was given 30 days of PTO at my job. PTO is paid time off. So while 30 days might seem like a lot, I've seen nurse practitioners who were able to successfully negotiate for 60 days PTO. I would say the sweet spot of negotiating for PTO would be for 45 to 60 days. Because remember now, most nurse practitioners in outpatient settings, we work 5 days a week. So negotiating for 45 to 60 days of PTO is reasonable. The physicians who I work with, I believe they were given 40 to 45 days of PTO. Can't remember which one, but the number was in the 40s. Definitely negotiate for paid time off. The second thing you should make sure you negotiate for is admin time. Admin time is blocked off, uninterrupted time where you're not seeing patients, you're taking care of administrative tasks such as charting, patient phone call follow-ups, lab follow-ups. Don't let a job tell you that your admin time can be taken during your lunch break. No, your lunch break is for lunch. Admin time should be blocked off. So you should negotiate for at least 4 hours of admin time. At my previous job, we were given 4 hours of admin time Friday afternoon. So Fridays were half days for us. So we would go into the office from 9 to 12, and then after 12, majority of everybody would go home unless you had to stay to chart. Make sure with the admin time you want to be given the option to go home, because most people just go home during their admin time, and then you have some that stay at the office. The third thing you should negotiate for is telehealth days. So telehealth days are when the patient is at home and you're at home and you perform their patient visit over video call. Remember, telehealth days, they're convenient for your patients, and also they allow you to have a break from going into the clinic. So one of the other nurse practitioners I work with, she had 2 telehealth days, and going to the office 5 days a week, it gets old really quickly. Negotiating for telehealth days is a good way to give you a break from going into the clinic. And also remember, telehealth days are more so for nurse practitioners who work in the outpatient setting. Fourth thing you want to negotiate is for your CMEs, which is your continuing education, which can be anything like trainings, conferences, membership fees for professional organizations. I was given $1,500 by my company for CMEs. I would negotiate for at least $2,500 just because most people use their CME money to go to conferences held by different professional organizations. So for me as a women's health nurse practitioner, NPWH, Nurse Practitioners in Women's Health, which is the professional organization for women's health nurse practitioners, they hold annual conferences every year. So last year their conference was in Houston. This year their conference is in San Diego. I've seen different conferences. A lot of conferences are happening in New Orleans. AANP is having a conference in New Orleans this year. With the CME money, you want to make sure that the amount is able to cover your conference fees, because those can be very expensive. Your flight, your rental car, hotel, and your food. So that's why I say $2,500 is a good number. And remember, going to a conference is like a paid vacation, honestly. That's paid for by your company. So you usually go to the conference during the daytime, and then at night you're free to do whatever you want to do. So definitely make sure you negotiate for at least $2,500. And also with the CME money that I was given, we were given an additional 5 days of PTO for seeing me. Also, you want to negotiate for practice expense coverage. So you want to negotiate, you want to be reimbursed for your DEA license. Remember, your DEA license costs $888. You want to be reimbursed for license renewal fees. The renewal fees of my nurse practitioner license and my registered nurse license were $110 a piece. And also, you want the company to provide you malpractice liability insurance, and also your company should cover the credentialing fees. I know there are some nurse practitioners who get their own malpractice insurance that is separate from what is provided by the company, which is very smart. When I was practicing as a registered nurse, I did have my own malpractice insurance, and that's just because if something goes wrong, the company's malpractice insurance is more so for their benefit. So it's always good if you have your own malpractice insurance. I didn't have malpractice insurance with my first nurse practitioner job, but I do plan to get it with any other jobs that I hold after this. Last thing we're going to talk about is the salary, the main reason why most of you click this video. I started off making $98,000 at my first nurse practitioner job. So I stayed in my job for about 2 years. So I started off, when I got there, I was making $98,000. When I left, I was making $105,000, which was a $7,000 increase. Now, with that increase, I literally had to advocate for myself to get that increase. So how the increase came about, around fall of 2021, my job wanted all the nurse practitioners and physician associates to sign a contract. So the contract had different things in it. A big thing that I was advocating for myself to get and negotiate for was an annual salary increase. And it came down to a point where I was like, I'm just gonna hold off on signing this contract because I need some type of salary increase, because they were not willing to give me an annual salary increase just based off inflation, cost of living. It took a couple of months before they gave me a salary increase of $105,000, but the only thing with that, I would have stayed at that salary for the next 2 to 3 years. So the way the salary increases worked with this new contract was that it was based on your experience. So basically a tiered system. So let's say, for example, throwing out some numbers. With 0 to 3 years of experience, you get $98,000. With 3 to 6 years of experience, you get $105,000. With 6 to 9 years of experience, you get $112,000. Now, mind you, I was making $105,000 when I left. My friends who are nurse practitioners who have the same years of experience as I do, they're making $10,000 to $15,000 more than I am. So I knew I had to leave this job in order to be paid the salary that I feel like I'm worth. The average nurse practitioner salary in the specialty that I practice was $125,000. And let's also keep in mind, I feel like it's very important to receive annual salary increases, because with inflation and increased cost of living, I feel like you should be getting an 8 to 10% salary increase every year. And also, I would like to point out, these clinics make millions of dollars off of nurse practitioners, so you better make sure you negotiate your salary. No new grad nurse practitioner should be making less than $100,000 a year. I recommend you do your research to see what the average nurse practitioner salary is in your area. Of course, salaries vary by region, but I feel like if you are a new grad nurse practitioner and you live in Tennessee, I feel like your salary, starting off, your salary range should be anywhere between $107,000 to $110,000. And also with negotiating, you want to negotiate a little bit higher than the number you want, because usually when they counter offer, there are some instances where they'll go ahead and give you the salary you want. Let's say I want to make $155,000 a year. I would tell them, hey, can we do a salary of $160,000? Then more than likely they will come back and be, we can do $155,000, and boom, you get the salary you want. Hey everyone, so as promised, I'll be sharing my pay stubs. So this first one is from when I was making my annual salary of $105,000. The hourly breakdown was $50.48 an hour. So as you can see, my gross pay was $4,038.46. I would have loved to have made that amount of money. I might have stayed, but girl, as you can see, over $1,000 was taken out of my check every 2 weeks. So for taxes, you have $837, which was taken out, and then my deductions, $310, which was for health insurance, vision insurance, dental insurance, and also my 401k, which amounted to $2,800. The second pay stub is from when I was making $98,000 a year, which amounted to $47.12 an hour. So you can see that my gross pay here was $3,700, taxes $800, deductions $188, which amounted to a net pay of $2,700. Let me know down in the comments, what was your starting salary as a new grad nurse practitioner? And if you have any tips or advice for new grads. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.